Welcome to the very first edition of the Jerseyboyreviews, an anime special, episode 1. My name is Julian, and I am your host, and today we'll be talking about Broly, the Forgotten Prince theory. Now, this is completely fan fiction, and nothing has been confirmed or denied by any studios. This is just my team and I having some fun. The Forgotten Prince theory, in a nutshell, that my friend Lewis and I hypothesized, is basically this. Broly is a part of the Saiyan royal family, which would make him the second son of King Vegeta, younger brother to Prince Vegeta, and older brother to Prince Tarble. So we're basically stating that Broly is the middle child of House Vegeta. Now, it's all merely speculation and fun, so please just be open-minded while I give you some evidence to support Lewis and I's claim. First of all, Broly doesn't seem to wear the normal type of Saiyan uniform. He wears kind of loose-fitting, royal type of clothes, which pretty much scream out comfortability. And as we all know, comfortability and royals go hand in hand. So, I'm a history buff, so I know that this statement to be fact. Monarchs or royals or kings, whatever you want to call them, usually presented themselves with the colors of red, bright blue, purple, and of course, lots of gold. And only royalty could afford gems and diamonds. I bring up these colors and trinkets because these colors and accessories were very expensive, which made it exclusive to a certain class. These colors or paints were hard to find and extraordinarily difficult to make, and thus making them very, very expensive. So the paints and clothes in these colors could only be afforded by super rich people, or as Prince Vegeta would say, the super elite. So only a certain class of people could afford to have these articles of clothing and gems, and these people were obviously royals. Now, out of the 4 colors, we can clearly see Broly wearing at least 3 of them. Gold in his gauntlets, his shin guards, his golden shoes, his 2 necklaces and belts. The blue in the form of his giant gems, and the red in his sash. And like I said before, we can clearly see 3 out of the 4 royal colors. But upon rewatching the Broly movie, when he starts to power up to a Super Saiyan form, the red sash turns into a bluish purple color. Seeing as how he has all 4 of these royal colors and trinkets, I believe it separates him from the rest of the Saiyans, which would make him a viable candidate for royalty. Now, speaking of the color blue, I'm going to be talking about King Vegeta. In some frames in DBZ, I'm guessing it's either they couldn't figure out what shade to put his hair in, so I'm assuming they tried a couple of different ones. In some instances, it resembles Prince Vegeta's reddish black hair, and sometimes it's brownish black. But in some flashbacks in Dragon Ball Z, King Vegeta's hair is bluish black, just like someone I know when he's powering up to his Super Saiyan form. Now, Broly, while in his normal Saiyan state, is seen wearing these bicep bracelets. You know who else wears bicep bracelets? None other than King Vegeta himself. And I just thought about this too right now, but I think Broly wears 2 bicep bracelets as a physical manifestation that represents the hierarchy of the 3 brothers. So him being brother number 2, he would obviously wear 2 bracelets to resemble the assumed fact that he is the middle child. Another piece of evidence is this. To control the beast known as Broly, why is that the only method of controlling him, his power, his madness, is this device, and the device in question is in the shape of a crown. Now, I've also rewatched the movies which feature Broly, and I came across this frame which just backs up my claim even more. It's of him sitting down, and you'll say, okay, big whoop, he's just sitting down, but you don't really have to look close. The way that he's sitting down is pretty much like a king or a prince on a throne. So you can say that, yo, Julian, there's no family resemblance whatsoever. But as we all know in our lives, we see some kids that pretty much don't look like their parents. You know, you might have some genetic mutation like albino, where you have both black parents and you come out white. Or, for example, you can have blonde parents and you come out a redhead. Or let's say some guy's son looks more like the grandfather than his dad. Now you're probably wondering, like, Julian, come on, get to your point. The point is that Vegeta, Tarbo, and King Vegeta all look alike. But how about Broly? His resemblance actually shows up decades later, and you'll kick yourself when I make the connection for you. But don't worry, I didn't see it either until years later when I rewatched the movies as well. Broly's resemblance reappears in none other than Vegeta's firstborn son, Trunks. You would say, no, Trunks doesn't resemble Vegeta or Broly at all. He looks more like his mom, Bulma. But they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so here's a couple of mine. You can clearly see when Trunks and Broly transform into Super Saiyans, they're almost exactly alike in every form. So I'll call this picture Uncle and Nephew. If you're still not convinced, which by this point you should be, I have some more. Here's another picture. In this one you'll see Broly and Tarbo together. Now you'll say, yeah, there's no way, physically speaking, Tarbo has the shape of a 13-year-old girl, and Broly is an enormous, hulking, godlike behemoth, which is true. Tarbo is, in fact, so puny he can't even turn Super Saiyan. So there's no way to make a comparison, physically speaking, of course. But if you look at their faces in their normal states, don't they kind of look alike? I believe they do. And this is something that my friend Lewis pointed out to me. So I think the real reason why King Vegeta wanted to get rid of Broly, not only because of his power or madness, but if left unchecked, King Vegeta's favorite son, Prince Vegeta, would be overthrown and usurped of the crown by the mad powerhouse known as Broly. If you look back at our own history, when there is a monarch and there is more than one sibling, one gets picked to be the king, there's always some sort of war, a brother killing brother, which is called fratricide. That's the act of killing a brother. Or in a different scenario, if Prince Vegeta would have ascended to the title of King Vegeta, let's dub him King Vegeta II so we don't get confused. Or KV2. So let's say KV2 is already established as king. Broly could easily have committed the act of regicide, which is the act of killing a king. And in my theory, Broly being KV2's brother, Broly wouldn't have any legitimate claim to the throne. But because of his immense power, he could easily perform a coup d'etat and remove KV2 from power. Tarbo is inconsequential, being the third brother. He also has no claim to the throne because it's a legitimate right of the firstborn son being KV2. And as we all know, there's no way Tarbo could even imagine removing KV2 or Broly from the throne. So I think King Vegeta I predicted an outcome like this. So he made the executive kingly decision to get rid of the problem, and the problem being Broly. So I don't think that Paragus is Broly's father at all. We all know that kings and queens have butlers or attendants that wait on them hand and foot. And I think Paragus was just Broly's attendant, charged to look after the boy prince, just like Nappa with Vegeta. So to conclude, we legitimately believe that Broly belongs in House Vegeta as the second set of King Vegeta. So if you guys have any comments or you want to go into more detail about this, let us know. Comment and give us a little shout out. So thanks for hearing us out. On the next episode, I think we'll have Bardock, and the theory is going to be Bardock, the original Super Saiyan God. Alright guys, stay tuned.